So once I worked at a bakery to earn a living. Actually, I needed the dough, and I earned the crust. I got myself off the bread line though. Anyway, I tell you one thing though. I was thinking if I ever won the lottery, I promised no one around me would be broke. No one at all. Because I would move to a wealthy neighborhood. Anyway, I ordered a book about how to scam people online. It's been 6 months now and I haven't received it. And finally, what do you call a hen that can count its own eggs? A mathema chicken. Anyway, got to go with an absolute clanger there. Anyway, hello everyone. Welcome to the Black Dog version 2, 219. I'm Lee.
I'm Darren.
I'm Jim.
I'm Elton.
And this week we'll see how everyone's week's been. We'll see if there's any feedback. I don't think there is for last week's episode. And we will answer some questions in Asking for Trouble. And then we will move on to this week's movie, which is your pick, Dal, which was?
The Last Voyage of the Demeter.
Is it Demeter or Demeter?
No, it's Demeter. It's Demeter.
Demeter?
They say Demeter in the film.
Yep. I actually said Demeter into the search thing when I got the voice thing. I just went Last Voyage of the Demeter, and it came up with the film straight away. So
Demeter, the foot, the 3 inches, the long way away.
Get the trundle wheel out.
Oh, wouldn't that be a fucking interesting movie? A vampire on board whose obsession was the trundle wheel.
Click,
Yeah.
click, click, click. He's getting closer. Click, click, click.
The Last Voyage of Demeter. This other meter. The other meter. He's round in the corner now. He's Demeter away. Anyway.
Come to read your meter.
Maybe it's like, is it the Japanese or Chinese vampires that have to pick up rice?
No.
Yeah. You get out the clicky wheel and he has to do dimensions for the room he's in. That's it.
He literally travels the perimeter. Just kind of
gets his tripod out with one of those, like, land survey cameras on them. Move over a bit. Just get any. Yep, there we go. What's that? What's the reason?
I need to move your furniture. So I can get an accurate reading of the perimeter. With my
Where
Demeter.
is my high-vis jacket? That's my hot pet.
Oh, God.
It's like Lord of the Rings and King Theodolite. I Gandalf, you're 6.5 meters away from me.
Walking around absent-mindedly singing, Bob the Builder, can we build it? Yes, we can.
Hold on, you're having a cute angle on this wall. Anyway, right. Let's move on. Anyway, hello everyone. Let's start this nonsense because we got to get a wiggle on. I feel like this is one of those films that's either going to be like a 5-minute "What did you think?" or it's going to be like 16 hours of "Yeah, but what?" kind of affair. So let's just push on. Let's just push on and find out how everyone's week's been. And we'll start this week, Jim, with you as ever.
Okie dokie. Well, this week we've mainly been painting a big X on our door.
Oh dear.
So I sort of came back from London. I had a bit of a sort of sniffle as previously documented.
Mm-hmm.
But then sort of last week, Teresa started with a bit of a cough and a bit of a sore throat.
Mm.
And wasn't too bad. But then kind of a Eurovision night sort of rolled round.
Yeah.
And a friend of ours, Gordon, sort of came over and he brought some very nice local craft beers.
Yes.
Like a tiramisu milk stout, another sort of stunt drink.
Wow.
And long story short, a good night was had by all, but persons unknown, i.e. me, 4 a.m, was still up with Gordon drinking a banana flavour rum neat.
Banana flavoured rum?
Yes, yeah.
Did you...
that was after cinnamon whiskey.
Okay, hang on. Let's just back up the truck for a second. We got tiramisu milk stout. We got cinnamon whiskey. We got banana rum. Do you live in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, right by the complimentary bar or something?
I don't know. I don't think Gordon's got a line to sort of Willy Wonka's off license.
Were you served by an Oompa Loompa?
I think I was seeing by the end of the evening. I'm pretty sure I saw a few in the room. But that might be watching old bits of Eurovision on YouTube.
Oh, good Lord.
Hard to tell.
Oh, good Lord. Oh.
But yeah, anyhow, long story short, we both ended up being actually a lot more poorly in the last few days. And apparently there is actually something going around which is actually very, very, very sort of nasty sort of coughs, colds sort of nonsense. And so we're both not being the best, shall we say. No. Funny, I got off quite lightly, actually, surprisingly, with my knackered immune system, but I've just really had a bit of a head cold. And, but Teresa had proper fever and chills, and basically, we went to bed for a couple of days, basically. And, but thankfully, feeling a bit better now, but still, you might hear her coughing downstairs.
Okay. We'll all...
Because one of the things about this particular cold was going around, it doesn't give you a cough like you're a 60 a day. For 60 years, smoker, probably
Well, if we hear it, Jim, we'll all shout, "Hi, Teresa!"
Yeah. She'd come downstairs, probably playing Doom Dark Ages. So.
Oh right, okay, yeah. Rip, tear, and gore. Yeah,
pretty much.
Jibs everywhere.
But yeah, so I mean, I've not since the weekend. I've not done too much, but loaf around the sofa and. I've not had to go on Dark Ages yet because I was mainly just catching up the other day. Just sat on the sofa feeling very rather ill and playing Dredge.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Which I'm thoroughly enjoying, I must say.
It's very good, isn't it?
It is. Deceptively simple and rather alarming. The more you go on with it.
Yeah. Go around the Poxy Swamp area in the north trying to find little diseased pikes and all that stuff.
But yeah, so what an ingenious little game. Make fishing scary, as it should be.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know what you're pulling out of the bloody water. No. If he's got anything more than one limb, I don't want to know.
Or too many eyes.
Too many eyes, yeah.
There's a lot of things with too many eyes coming out of those nets for my liking.
Nice.
Generally too many eyes in the sea at night. Kind of, what the fuck's that? What's going on?
Yes. Nice. Cool. Anything else, sir?
That's pretty much about it for us, really, more or less.
Okay, that's perfectly cool. Right, then, in which case we'll move on to you then, Elton. How's your week been, sir?
Very good, thank you very much.
No.
I have experienced Facebook Marketplace for the very first time this week.
Okay.
The highs and definitely the very lows as well.
Oh, okay.
So, I've never used it. And every now and again, just scour it on there just to see what's on there, and put a word in and search for it and have a little look. And it's a very good way of selling and buying stuff quite local, which is pretty good.
Right.
Unlike Loot, which used to be the way years and years ago. So I purchased something. And I sold something this week.
Okay.
And the purchase went very, very well. There was a lot of good communication. And I bought the product that I wanted to buy. It was a guitar pedal. And
right.
I can't help myself. I'm now in this thing of actually buying them again. I'm like, oh, no. Oh, am I here now? Am I? Oh, yeah. Looks like I am. But I got myself... I don't know if Jim will know this, a Boss pedal, Distortion DS1, quite a famous pedal. Nice. And it was 40 quid. I was like, okay, got to have that. I've always wanted one. So,
is that good?
Is that good? Yeah.
That's one of the big names in distortion pedals. That's one of the classics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's fantastic! Fuck, man, 40 quid. That's amazing. He says, trying to sound like he knows what he's talking about.
Searching
What a bargain!
For something to come in and comment on, definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Motherfucker! What a lucky bastard!
Nice.
Exactly. Thank you very much. I'm
There
very
you go.
pleased with my purchase.
I'm amazed. I'm ashamed of myself for not following such a purchase. Oh my God, I'm distraught. I am absolutely beside myself. How were you so lucky, Elton? Good Lord.
Anyway, that was the good purchase. There was lots of good communication on picking up and times and give me a little notice before you get here. And I was like, okay, fine. And I gave him an hour and I said I was on my way and it was during work. And so I was like, okay, fine. And it all worked.
Yeah.
And it ran like clockwork and there was no problems whatsoever.
Okay.
Selling something though. So my mum had a new bathroom fitted about a year ago, and she said to us, would you like the sink and the cabinet and the taps that go with it, just in case you want to change it in yours?
Right.
And I said, yeah, why not? And we got it home, and it wasn't quite what would work in there. So I decided to put it in the garage, and there it stayed for about a year. And because things do. And this weekend I was ripping out stuff in the garage and I thought, do you know what? Why not? Let's give this a go. How hard can it be? I'll probably get 1 or 2 people interested in this.
Right.
27 people later, all going,
God.
Is this still available? Is this still available? Is this still available? Is this still available? Which is fine. That's a great way of getting into it.
Yeah.
But man, there's hustlers on there.
Yeah.
Real hustlers of, I will pay more for you. I will do this. Let me jump the queue. I'm like, well, I kind of like to do things by the books. And so this person was first and that person. And I'm trying to keep track of what's going on instead of just, I'll take the money and I want to do it properly.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how stressful my phone going ping, ping, ping constantly would be. Oh my word! Has anyone else sold anything on there at all?
No.
We've been lucky. We sold a few like bits for old fish tanks, and we did well. But we did get a bit of pissing about from some people.
Yeah.
You're interested? Yes. Do you want to buy it?
Yeah.
There's a lot of that, isn't there?
Yeah.
You son of a bitch. There was one person who said, okay, well, I can come up today or tomorrow. I went, great. When do you want to come up? Would you like to come up? When are you thinking? Well, either today or tomorrow. Okay, great. When?
And then they didn't show.
And it was just silence. Okay. I could have just left it, but I thought, no, I want to end it. So I had to send a message, just moving on from you. And then just moved. And so I went on to the next person who stood in the line and was really desperate to get it and said, would you like to come and pick it up? Silence. I was like, oh, Christ. But there was a couple of people that kept jumping and going, is it still available? Has it been sold? I was like, okay, right. You and then you. And the first person, luckily. So this stand, it's like a sink, taps, and little cabinet underneath. And where my dad fitted it years and years ago, he had to cut off the back legs of it. Right. I don't know why. I think it was for a piping situation, but it leans up against the wall and it stands perfectly and there's no problems.
Okay.
And I explained this in the blurb that I put online. Mm-hmm. And so this chap turned up and said, right, okay, I'm here for this. I went, there it is in all its glory. He looked around it and went, well, I'm not buying it. My missus is. So how much do you want for it? So he gave me the money and I said, right, I'll help you carry it out to your car. He went, okay, great. And as we picked it up, I said, right, remember the back legs aren't here. It's just standing on its front legs and leaning against something. Yeah, that's fine. Mm-hmm. So we walked out and it was a to me to you moment. We put it down on the side And I thought, no, I'm just going to stay here for a moment. And as he stood up, he let go of it. I went, oh, no. And luckily caught it from smashing into his Mercedes. So I was like,
yeah.
Remember, the back legs aren't here.
Yeah.
And you've already given me the money. So really, he should have owed me more money because I saved him from a repair bill on his car.
Yes, absolutely. I think it's a fair decision. I think it's a fair call.
Went up.
Yeah,
but it was just the way that he just let go of it, completely forgetting that there were no back legs on. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Do you think that might have been a scam? Do you think he might have actually wanted it to fall on his car so he could charge you?
Wow.
No, I don't think so.
Sure?
I like your thinking, though, but no.
You know, you didn't tell it he had no back legs on. I'll see you in small...
there was no anti-gravity unit on this?
Yes. Yeah. I'll see you in small claims court. You damaged my car by giving me 40 products.
That's why I'm glad I stayed there and made sure it didn't fall into the side of his car. Thank goodness. But yeah, I think it'll be a long, long time before I put anything else on there. It's just, I'm not built for this stuff anymore. I can't do this.
It's just sounds like a massive ball ache, and dealing with people who are shysters as well doesn't really help either.
I was expecting someone to turn up and go, that's not worth that amount. I will give you this amount. I was like, okay. I was waiting for that battle.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether I would have been able to fight that battle. Okay, yeah, whatever. Just take it. I don't care. Yeah, but I think a lot of people do that as well.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what they want to do. That's exactly how the people play it, isn't it?
Yeah.
They turn up, they argue the toss, and you're like, well, you can either fuck off or you can, take it.
That's why you stick 15 quid on the top of it, just in case.
Yeah.
So they can knock you down.
Yeah, exactly. Smart. That's a haggle. That's a haggling tip for you. No. Yeah. You got to haggle.
I want 15. You say, I want 30. Yeah. I say, I've got kids to feed.
Me with a poor dying grandmother. Yeah. You're supposed to argue. 10 for that, you must be mad. Anyway, so you got rid of the bloody thing anyway.
Yes. Oh, it's so spacious in my garage now. I could swing a very small sink and cabinet and sink and taps around.
Nice.
But yeah, thank goodness.
Nice.
Yeah, I won't be doing that anytime soon though.
No, I wouldn't recommend it at all.
No,
it doesn't strike me as the sort of thing you really need to put yourself through. I'd sooner pay someone to take it away and go, throw it down the skip. Throw it in a skip or something like that than have to deal with some shyster just wandering around my house checking everything out and going,
Well, I did tell my mum and she was like, oh, you do know that we could have got that thrown away when we ripped out the bathroom. I was like, yeah, I know. But yeah, I'm giving her the money anyway, so
yeah. Oh, well, there you go.
She can go spend it on paints and canvases and whatever.
Or for the back legs of your cabinet. Gonna buy them. Anything else, sir?
No, that's it.
Okay, brilliant. Cool. What about you then, Dal? How's your week been?
Oh, not very busy at all, really. I haven't really done that much.
Okay. Well, my week... No, sorry.
No, it's fine.
Go on, carry
on. I got recommended... Well, I saw this post online about reevaluating certain Star Trek The Next Generation episodes, right? Going back and a watch of them.
Okay.
And the one that it mentioned was Schizoid Man. Do you remember that? Season 2, about episode 6.
Schizoid Man?
Yeah, or no, it's spelled, it says Schizoid. That's the way it's spelled out.
Remind me, because season 2 isn't really my thing.
Okay. Basically, the Enterprise gets a signal from this planet that one of the greatest brains in the Federation, who's hidden himself away, is suffering with medical difficulty, and they need someone to come out and help him out.
Mm.
And so they go en route to this place, and they have to drop. Was it the Riker? I think goes down. Troy, Lieutenant Silar, the Vulcan scientist that was with them at one point, and Data as well. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so they all go down to take care of this bloke, to give him the initial medical treatment while the Enterprise goes off to rescue this freighter that's in trouble. And this guy turns out to be a bit of a douchebag, right? Who knows how brilliant he is, and he's a bit sort of chauvinistic and stuff like this. Anyway, him and Data are stood there talking, and while he stood there, well, he's with Data. It cuts back to the rest of the crew. All of a sudden, Data comes out and says, "Oh, that's it. He's died. Couldn't really do anything for him. It's a real shame that he's gone. I was really enjoying the interaction."
Yeah.
And as it goes on, you realise that Data is starting to act a bit funny on the ship.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And it's because the guy has transferred his essence, because he knew Noonien Sung, the guy that created Data, and he knows, he was the one that taught Noonien Sung about positronic science and stuff like this.
Mm.
And so he's actually got a mechanism that allows the transfer of someone's personality into a machine.
Right.
And so that's what he's done, because Data starts becoming really fucking creepy. Right. I mean, really fucking creepy. It's the sort of creepy, or the sort of character that stands out in something like Star Trek The Next Generation, because all that stuff seems to have been done away with. But the way he's leching at all the women and stuff, it's just really quite sort of, oh, this is a bit weird, a bit creepy. Now, it's an okay episode, but it's one of those sort of episodes where it just gives a feeling that it knows it's only got 45 minutes to solve a problem. You know? And so it's like, if this had been a bit longer, like a 2-part episode, then maybe it would have been believable. But suddenly this personality, this character has a change of heart, and is like, suddenly cares about all the people he's hurt along the way, and, you know, just vacates Data's body after Picard's giving him the big speech. Like,
it just says, "Oh, sorry about that. I'll be off."
Yeah, it's like, "Oh, how many other people am I going to hurt in the process?" And it's like, hold on a fucking moment. This is not like the character that's. It doesn't give a shit about anyone.
No.
So while it was an interesting idea, it just seemed a little bit rushed.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But still, it was good to go back. And to tell you the truth, I don't really remember anything about that episode before I watched it anyway. So, and I know I watched every single Next Gen episode. So I think it's about time I go back and start watching through them again.
They're all on Netflix.
Yes, I know. That's where I found this episode. So I went back there, found it, watched it. So I know I've got just, Grin and Bear season 1. But with its regurgitated sort of storylines from the original series.
Yes.
The Naked Now, I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
But I think it should be a rather fun watch. And I know it will get better by what sort of uniform they're wearing as well. If it's a one-piece, they're a bit like, touch and go. But when they get the two-piece suits, then I know that's when the writing's got better, and the sort
once
of
they get collars. Once they get
collars, once they stop wearing pajamas
and get collars,
they get collars. Then
it all picks up.
Then it does all, but the writing gets better, and you see the budget gets increased.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and then of course at the end of season 2 we have the best of both worlds. But yes,
season 3.
No, it's the end of season 2 and then the beginning of season 3.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
End of season 2 is that horrible clip show with Riker in black and white and Dr. Pulaski. It's the end of season 3.
Really? I could have sworn I saw when I looked through the episodes, got the best of both worlds at the end of that. Or was I? It might have been season 3.
Season 3 to season 4. Trust me on this.
Well, you know what? For a long while, the Best of Both Worlds was probably one of the few episodes, the two-parter. Those were the two episodes that I watched the most. I think just because I love that whole story.
Yeah.
Where the Borg are still kind of, not pulling any punches.
Yeah. Q Who is the first time they appear properly, which is season 2.
And I wish they just kept him as a, they hadn't gone too much into him, because that really didn't do. What's that? Not unification. What was there was an episode, Descent. That was it.
And Borg.
Yeah, Descent. The actual novelisation of that is a lot more gorier and a lot more horrific than the actual the final episode that they produced, because I think it was based on the screenplay.
Yeah,
the story, but it talks about Federation officers getting ripped in half and like guts spilling out on the battlefield and stuff like this, and it's just fucking hell. I've got to see this episode, and you watch it, it's like, what the fuck is this? Who put it through the Hallmark Channel fucking generator? What the hell?
Yeah,
because it really does do away with all that, and it's just really depowers it. It takes a lot away from it.
Yeah, it's not.
But
not
good. I'm going to go back. I think I'm going to start watching Next Gen again, and just just go back, and just revisit. I haven't watched them fucking ages, so I think this will be an interesting watch.
It's well worth a revisit, especially the middle seasons. Definitely, I'm doing the same myself, but it's just on and off again. But it's it's well worth a look. Definitely.
What you on at the moment?
I'm season 4 now, so I'm just
right.
So yeah, I'm right in the middle of the prime sort of stuff. But no, I just watch it now and again. So I'm just sort of like, I'll get one episode, I'll watch 2 or 3, and then I'll be like, move on.
Well, I think I'm going to do. There's going to be 3 episodes that are, whether I'm watching 1 or 2 at a time, I'm definitely going to do a triple on 3 episodes, which is The Best of Both Worlds Part 1 and 2 and Family. I think I love Family just because of the sort of impact it has. It's so nice to see the sort of repercussions of what you've just watched and how that plays out on Picard and what it does to his psyche, and how traumatized he is from his experience.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that became one of those things that just ended up rolling on and on and on and on forever. Now it's been sort of Picard's ongoing theme for the last 30 fucking years.
I suppose it has really, hasn't it?
Well, keep going back to that well. Oh, quick. Oh, look, it's the Borg. Oh, look, he's scared again.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
So fine. So there we go. So there was that. And the other thing, I regularly go onto the Epic Games site to get free stuff when they sort of like they send it, and they do some pretty good games. They do some of the lesser known sort of indie ones that they give away for free, but every once in a while you get a AAA game that comes up. Yeah, and this is still available if anybody wants it on the Epic Games site. It's available until I think it's the 22nd. So we're in the 20th at the moment at the time of recording. So you're going to have about a day or so before it disappears. I think they cut it off at 4 p.m.
What is it?
Get the next. It's Dead Island 2.
Oh, right.
That's completely free, right? So, if you want, it's for the PC, not like the Xbox or anything like that. Get in there and grab hold of that. It's good. It's a lot lighter than the first one, I've got to say. First in the Riptide. Yeah. This one, you're actually in LA, so you're having to deal with Generation Z, right? I'm like this Generation X fireman who's going through. I'm having to deal with things like influencers and stuff like this, trying to save them, and shoot fucking videos of like kicking zombie arse and stuff like that. So
I've done those. Yeah,
indeed. So at the moment, I'm on a mission where I'm trying to find this guy, and he's hauled up in a film studio. Right. So I've just managed to get onto that. Now, the game itself, sometimes it can be a bit touch and go, but mostly it's a good laugh, right? And I have to say, some of the weapons in it, you don't even need the sort of like vibration thing on your controller to be active. You can literally feel the weight hitting these zombies in the head, right? The sound effects are really good on some of them. So it's like any weapons that have got like a dumbbell symbol on them have got real weight behind each fucking hit. And you just see the way these zombies fold when they get hit in the face by some of this stuff. It's just really satisfying. Oh, and you can get the the Wolverine meat tenderizers as well. Right. You can electrify those fuckers.
Yeah.
And it's just, you just tear, because they're like the fastest weapon in the game, I think. Right? Your actual beatdown with these is just really, really quick. So you just go for fucking broke with these, you know? So yeah, as I say, it's still free on Epic Games. Dead Island 2. Check it out. It's nice. It's good. Good laugh.
Cool. Sounds good.
Indeed.
Anything else, mate?
No, that's just about it, really. It's been a pretty sort of quiet week for me.
Okay,
so there we go.
Oakley dokley. Well, just a couple from me then. Yeah. First off, I've just watched literally about 10 minutes ago, or 10 minutes before we started. I managed to watch the first 2 episodes of Murderbot, which is based on the books Murderbot Diaries by Martha Wells. The jury's out at the moment with it because there's only 2 episodes to base it on. There's a hefty dose of sarcasm which is lifted from the book, which I quite like. And the characters are all loathsome, which is kind of in keeping with the book, but nothing's really kicked off yet, so it's kind of early doors. For those of you who don't know, Murderbot Diaries is by Martha Wells. It's a series of books, and it tells the story of this security droid who is basically organic parts inside a robot shell, and effectively it's bored. It hates everyone. It doesn't want to do anything. It hates looking after people because it's like a corporate drone. It kind of goes with the territory. So if the company pays for something to be done, or they want to protect their investment, they send these drones in, and you get one and you hire it, sort of thing, to look after your scientists or your workers or whatever. And this one absolutely hates the job. It's just totally done with the fucking job. But it's got this inhibitor on it that says you have to follow the rules. You have to follow the rules that the humans give you.
Yeah.
Except it's been spending like every waking minute of every waking hour of every waking day, when it's not actually engaged in a job, trying to basically break this chip in its head called the governor chip. And eventually it does. And then it realizes it's not really lived much of a life to worry about it. So it carries on doing its job. But now it's got free will. However, if it reveals its free will, it'll be seen as rogue and therefore will be shut down and melted. So now what it's got to do is it's got to maintain its total disdain for all human life, but carry on doing its job while not revealing its actual purpose or its actual, newfound freedom. And it's starting to do things like it's addicted to soap operas and downloadable media. So there'll be like all these people sort of doing surveys on this dangerous planet, and it'll be sitting there watching, this I don't know, soap opera, and then all of a sudden it's like, I'm really liking this episode. And then there's like 2 people digging around a hole while this 600-foot centipede is coming to eat them. And it's like, oh, for fuck's sake, put it on pause, go get them, go rescue them. And, and that's kind of where it is. It's just setting up. The first 2 episodes are setting it up, and it makes a mistake by sort of, it wants to get back to its soap operas. So when one person gets hurt by a monster, it decides the best way of sorting this out is to show its human face to one of the people to sort of calm them down. and sort of go, and you got this sort of, got, is it Alexander Skarsgård?
Yes.
He's the robot, and so he suddenly reveals his face, and he's looking at one of these people who was traumatized from watching their mate being eaten by a fucking 600-foot centipede, and he's like, "So, have you got any kids? How are you doing? How's it feeling? Don't worry, I'm here to save you." And he's got absolutely no sincerity and no way of pulling any of that shit off. But by doing that, there's one of the crew are now like, there's something funny about this fucking robot, and so the stage is set for the robot trying to stay unnoticed while also now having freedom to do what it wants to do. But you keep getting this monologue in its head. So like one bloke's going like sort of like, "So I would like you to look me in the eyes." And you see sort of like the robot looking around, and it's like, "This is the worst thing I've ever had to do, ever, making fucking eye contact," sort of thing. So it's got this kind of anxiety attack thing going on as well. But it's, like I say, the books are funny and sarcastic and nice little sort of awry sides by the robot. Yeah. We've started to see a little bit of that in the TV show. Don't know if it's actually going to get as good as the books right now, because it seems to be taking that, streaming thing of, we couldn't just have this all happen in one episode. Oh no, we've got to drag it down into 2-3 episodes. Keep that fucking subscription money coming in. So at the moment, it's, we watched 2 episodes today, and the next one's out on, I think tomorrow.
Right.
And we'll keep an eye on it. But at the moment, it's kind of like, it's 50-50. It's got splashes of what made the book good. But right now, it's kind of like, wait and see.
Yeah.
And that's on Apple TV Plus. The other thing was Love, Death and Robots dropped a new series on Netflix, which I watched. And I've always had a problem with it. I've always had a problem with Love, Death and Robots because, excuse me, for every good episode, there's a self-indulgent pile of old wanky crap or something which looks like it's been written by an edgelord teenager in crayon that just goes, "Oh, boobies and death. Oh, right. Isn't it cool?" And there's always been that with Love, Death and Robots. So for every good one, you'll get seriously, this is just a Call of Duty fucking episode. Someone's just sitting there banging CGI soldiers together and thinking it means something because they're all swearing. Isn't it edgy?
Does it treat adult entertainment like, does it do the Torchwood effect? It's like, oh, we better talk about fucking in this episode, better we? Yes, let's talk about fucking. Yes.
Have you never seen any of them? Episode?
I've seen some. I've not seen I think I watched some of season 1. Maybe as well. There was that one about the farmers in the mechs who were defending against those creatures. Saw that one.
Yeah. There seems to be a reoccurring one. There's a couple of reoccurring ones that are about robots and cats, which have occurred in all 4 seasons.
It's the ones that are on the tour, aren't they? They're on the holiday. Yes. They're like the 4 robots on holiday going around all the human settlements, or what used to be human settlements.
Yeah.
What did they use this for?
Yeah, well, in season 4 where we are now, there's a mini episode which is kind of the origin of the fall of the species of the human race. Right. Involving a cat who gets hold of basically a mobile robot that's like Alexa in the house kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, that's quite amusing because the robot that starts the whole thing off, directed by a cat, is voiced by John Oliver, which is quite funny. And there's a couple of them that are really good in this latest season, and there's a couple which are just like, oh, fucking really. Like the first one that turns up in season 4, and I thought, oh, we're on a loser here. It's literally a 4-minute CGI puppet show of the Red Hot Chili Peppers singing "Can't Stop," and that's it.
Oh, right.
And it's just like, what a pile of self-indulgent old cock.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you can render 3 million strings. Well done. Well done. Congratulations. It's still just watching concert footage with a bit of Thunderbirds thrown in for good measure. And then there's but there's other ones, like there's another reoccurring one which is kind of like this team of animators that have clearly worked out how to do that thing where everyone's really tiny and you've got the rack focus. So everything looks like
I
models.
know. Yeah.
Yeah. So they had one with an alien invasion this time. So it's like little aliens come out of a little tiny spaceship and there's little tiny cops sitting around them. And the thing goes, and they all go.
I thought I'd hit fast forward on that by accident. No. I thought, have I sped the frame rate up on this?
Yeah, the last season 3, they had one which was a zombie invasion.
Right.
Which is basically someone going and smoking weed and stuff down by a graveyard, and it starts off a fucking zombie invasion. Right. But yeah, some of it is really good. Some of it is bloody awful, and the quality varies so wildly between points.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to.
Gift cards by playing games.
Oh, you can turn that up if you like. There you go. Okay, I think that's a good point.
Welcome to OnlyFans.
Boom, 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 boom. Okay,
what's that tune, Lee? The one you just did there?
I have no idea. I've heard it before.
Friends of mine have started singing that. I just thought, is this the latest? Is this in the pop charts? Is it?
Yes, that's it.
Is it rating high in the pop charts?
Yes, the pop charts from the toilet. Yeah.
Is there a guide to episodes to watch?
I think if you just look it up on IMDb, each episode has its own IMDb rating, and that will give you a kind of general good rule of thumb.
Okay.
There's some early ones which are really good, which are like how can I put it? Which are tech demos, but there's one based on an Alistair Reynolds short story called Beyond the Aquila Rift.
Yeah, I saw that one, definitely.
Which is quite good. There's another one. Oh, God, now you got me thinking. There's another one which is like a super ultra real looking one. Hold on a sec, I will find it. Love, Death, Robots. I will find out more episodes. Man looks up thing on internet. So there's 3 robots, which is worth a look. Then there's hold on. Go past some of them. Some of them are good, some of them bad, some of them not all that. What was it? There was one about these soldiers going into a sort of like den to get some terrorists, and then they find out that the terrorists are actually priests for something else, and that was quite good. Oh, that one's really good. Season 3, episode 2, Bad Traveling. And that has a lot of that's a top rated one, 8.7 out of 10, and I will say that it has a lot of relevance to the film we've just watched. So well worth a look there. Then there's the Vaulted Halls of the Entombed. That's what it's called. Deep in the mountains of Afghanistan, a squad of special forces lead a dangerous job to recover hostages held by terrorists. But they venture too deep underground and find something more ancient and terrifying. That's quite a good one. In fact, actually, season 3 is probably the strongest of the lot because there's a lot of interesting ones in there.
I remember seeing bits of season 1. I'm sure I did season 1.
Yeah, we'll try season 3 for sure, because there's another one called Very Pulse of the Machine, which is about a lady astronaut in a suit far from home with only limited resources. That's quite a good one. And and The Mason's Rats, which is a CG cartoon about, well, a farmer versus rats. and the rats evolve super quickly, and then they start making their own weapons, which is quite good. And there's also another one actually in season 3, which is called Jibaro, which is a bit sort of weird, but visually it's stunning. It's absolutely stunning. Season 3, episode 9. Fucking can't stop the season 4. Yeah, like I say, season 4, the Red Hot Chili Peppers thing is just an absolute pile of self-indulgent old cock. Yeah, season 3 is probably your strongest, to be honest. Check that out. Oh, and season 4, how Zeke got his religion. That's quite a good one. And the other large thing, which is the cat one. That's quite cool. Anyway, it's all a bit hit and miss, but like I say, if you go on IMDb, there you can see the ratings, and I'm looking at the ratings now, and I can say that I'm in rough agreement with how they've laid out. So yeah, just go to the episode list on IMDb and just look at the scores there. Pop Squad. Oh yeah, that's quite a good one as well. Yeah, so this, like I say, just check out the scores and go to those ones.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that. I will leave that there. Right, before we move on, there is a couple of questions, so I will run this.
There are more questions than answers.
So we'll start off with Peter Organ, Reverend Peter Organ of the Borg cast and soon to be the Babylon cast, and the Babylon cast, sorry. And he writes, "What's your favourite pie?" I mean, while everyone else is pondering. Go on, Jim.
3.14 is the classic.
Science joke, like it. Yeah, I would go along with that. But I used to like the Marks and Spencer's one, which was slow cooked beef with red wine and chorizo in it, and it was like a densely packed little pie. And as soon as same with anything from Marks and Spencer's, as soon as you start to like it, they fucking get rid of it. So, yeah, so that's gone. So unfortunately, that's no longer available, which is a shame. Darren,
I suppose classic steak and kidney.
Okay, Elton.
I am partial to a chicken and mushroom.
Oh, cheeky.
Yeah.
Densely packed or floating in cream?
Yeah. A pie is wonderful when you cut into it and it's actually full. It's like finding a full packet of crisps with no air in it whatsoever.
Or finding
pie form.
Finding a Kit Kat that's all chocolate.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are holy grails.
Exactly. Okay, well, I think we've answered that one. Okay, a bit more sensible. We have Paul Kearns, who said, "What's your favourite movie adaptation of a book?" And the caveat to this is there a movie adaptation you think is better than the book?
Okay, I'll start this one.
Go on,
because I don't think I've read many books before I saw the film.
Go on, then.
I think I only seen one.
Okay.
That was The Martian.
Oh, right. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And once again, the book is far superior to the film, I think, anyway.
Definitely. Oh, God, yeah.
There's a brilliant scene in the book which they just didn't even think about putting into the movie, which was really disappointing. The moment, I think, where he flipped it.
Yeah.
And it was just, I was just in love with that chapter. So I would go, okay, there you go. The Martian.
The Martian. Well done. I like that one. That's a good call. Jim?
Oh, God. I think lots of the disappointing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Go to something else. I'm thinking of trying to wonder what actually did. There are some that
Okay.
have impressed me, but I'm trying to remember what they are now.
Okay, Darren.
Well, let's see now. I like accuracy in my in my adaptations. I think of a book, and if I remember rightly, I think Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
Just for because it's almost spot on to the book.
Yeah.
I think there's only one tiny, real minute difference. So, yeah.
Okay.
I'd say that Clockwork Orange. Not trying to be some sort of snob or anything.
No, that is a bloody good one. Yeah.
Yeah. They both come away with the same point.
Yeah.
So I thought Stanley Kubrick. I mean, I'm not really sure about his other films where it comes to if he's done adaptations accuracy wise, but for this one he got it spot on.
Okay, cool. Jim.
I'll go for I'll Let the Right One In.
Oh, that's a good book. That is a good book, though.
And just kind of for the film adaptation, I mean, the original Swedish one, I think. I don't want to say it's better than the book, but it's it's a beautifully rounded film that captures the book very well.
Yeah.
But I would say on the flip side, although I got a lot of shit, the American version, Let Me In, is a good alternative adaptation of the novel because that puts in stuff that isn't in the Swedish version.
Yeah.
And it got a lot of crap for being an American remake of a foreign film, but that wasn't actually the case when I actually sat down to watch it.
Yeah.
It is just a different adaptation of the book because there's some stuff in there that isn't in the Swedish version. It has a different emphasis.
Yeah.
But they both work really well. But the Swedish one, I think, has a bit of sort of weird winter magic to it that I don't think even the book has.
Yeah. No, that's
mainly because it misses out some of the fucking really horrible, grim chapters in the book. There's a couple of really chapters in the book which the film doesn't include, and you get this more kind of grown-up, dark fairy tale, very sort of beautifully rounded film. I'm not sure I can say it's better than the book, but it's a bloody good adaptation, one that kind of becomes its own thing as a bit of filmmaking rather than a translation of literature to film, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a good one, actually. I would say for favourite adaptation of a film to a book to a film, I was going to say, I think my favourite adaptation has got to be something like, I would say probably It, the first one. The adaptation, not with Tim Curry, the first part of the one with the kids from Stranger Things. I thought that was very, very good. Because it captured the book for the most part. Didn't get all the modern stuff with all the kids coming back to the town, obviously, but for that first part, I thought it did very well. I would also throw in there as an option, sticking with Stephen King. I would say that the caveat where the adaptation is better than the book, I would say The Mist.
Oh yeah.
Because the book just kind of leaves it hanging, and the film just does not leave it hanging.
I'm pretty sure Stephen King's on record as saying that he wished he'd thought of that ending.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, there's others I would include. I mean, Dune, for example, because I couldn't get through the fucking book at all, and at least the films got me watching it. But yeah, no, I'd say Mist. Mist is probably the one. If I had to point at one, that's the one where you look at it and you go, "Oh, yeah, okay, that works." So, and that's also a good example ahead of any comments we might have about the next film. But that's a good example of taking something that's only 12 pages long and turning it into a solid 2-hour movie. It wasn't that big a deal. The Mist little book. It was in.
It is a novella, isn't it? It's about 60, 70 pages.
Yeah, it's not massive though, is it? I mean, it's not. No. It's not like what I'd call a long read, is it? It's about if it's probably about the length of a kind of couple of articles or something. You could read through it in an hour if tops. I think if you really pushed, if you weren't that bothered, if you weren't distracted. You'd be hard pressed to stretch it out over a day. You couldn't sit there in the window and go, "Oh yes, I shall read this and luxuriate in it." No, it's like I'm sitting on the toilet, my legs gone numb. I finished it. Anyway, yeah, I think that's answered that. Let's move on. We have Anne-Marie Organ, who says, "Banana Man has just been announced as a live action movie. Who are you casting in the lead role and why?"
Banana
Peter
Man.
Serafinovich.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Elton?
Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser. Nice.
Oh, is that Brendan Fraser?
Yeah, sorry, Brendan. Yeah, but I knew you were talking about, man. It's okay. Yeah, Brendan Fraser. Nice. Yeah. I would... Those are both good calls. I would do... Yeah, I would... Oh, God, my brain. I had one right on the tip of my tongue and then I've completely forgotten it. Oh, my God.
Tom Cruise?
No, Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell. He'd make a good Banana Man.
Can he pull off an English accent? That's the thing.
Doesn't have to. Just.
Oh, then again, he's Bruce Campbell. Yeah, you're right.
Bruce Campbell. He's just a chin. And that's all that Banana Man is. He's just a chin with a stupid costume on. And this costume's going to be CG. So, let's just not kid ourselves here. So there. There you go. Right, well, we'll leave it there because we're up to an hour. So we'll leave it there. We'll take a break. Thank you for everyone who sent in the questions. If you want to send in any other questions, I mean, there's a few still left over from this week. If there's any other questions you want to leave, go into the Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/the Black Dog Podcast, and leave a question under the pinned thread, which is at the top of the page, which has all four of us looking bemused while looking at some of your feedback. There you go. And yes, just leave a message and we'll answer the questions in due time. One last thing before we take a break. I would just like to say on a personal level, thank you everyone who took part in the Facebook chat over the Eurovision while we were watching Eurovision on Saturday, just gone. That was most amusing and highly, highly, highly fun, and I enjoyed it lots. And it did make what was ultimately quite a lackluster event really funny. So, yes, on behalf of me and anyone else who was in there, thank you. Thank you very much for fueling my evening, because I don't think I could have got through that load of old Codswallop without it. Oh dear! Just when I thought I have no reason to have Facebook anymore, and then that sort of happens. It was very cool. Anyway, right, we'll leave it there. So, when we come back, we'll have a jingle. When we come back, we'll be on the last voyage of the Demeter. Or Demeter. Sorry. Demeter. Someone put a 50p in Demeter. Roll the jingle.
Ooh, we're watching a new movie we've never seen before. I'm buttering my nipples and waxing my ass. Roll up the Mystery Monica film. Roll up for the Mystery Monica film. Roll up
Masturbation.
for the Mystery Monica film. Roll up
Some lubrication.
for the Mystery Monica film. The mystery monocle film is waiting for us to hit play. Going to watch it today, what will we say?
Right, so the last voyage of the Demeter, the ibuprofen.
You need to go back very on this. Demeter.
The Demeter. The last voyage of the Demeter is also known as Dracula, Voyage of the Demeter in some international markets, just in case you didn't know who was on board the ship.
Carry on, Dracula.
yeah. The vampire on the boat bites on a boat. Anyway, it's a 2023 American supernatural horror film directed by Andre Aldeval and written by Bragi F. Schult Jr. and Zach Orwelwex. It's an adaptation of the Captain's Log chapter of the 1897 book Dracula by Bram Stoker. The film stars Corey Hawkins, Aileen Francois, Liam Cunningham, and David Dashmalian, and it plots the crew of the doomed merchant ship Demeter, who attempt to survive the treacherous ocean voyage from Transylvania to London while being stalked by the legendary vampire known as Dracula, played by Javier Botet. Javier Botet, by the way, is most notable for his other creature appearances in films like Mother and what is it, Mother? Yeah.
Wasn't it the one that we watched? Oh,
and Wreck, and he was in Wreck. He was the thing in the loft at the end of Wreck.
Okay.
Mama, not Mother. Mama. That's it. Anyway, so he's known for being very long of limb and creepy of movement. So he's done well. He's not playing to type.
An unsettling of face.
Unsettling of face. Yeah. He was. He was in. Yes, I'm just trying to look. He was in Mama. He was in Wreck 2, Crimson Peak. So basically, if you can't get Doug Jones, then you get him instead. It's kind of the additional.
My choice casting for Judge Death, should it ever happen.
God, yes, absolutely. Anyway, we won't go into the production stuff because there's a big old wiki on this thing. I mean, it is quite an extensive wiki. It's not quite Star Trek motion picture. Let's talk about the Slippers wiki, but it's big, it's hefty, but mainly by Bram Stoker hardcoreists by the look of things. Anyway, the budget was $45 million. How much do you think it made at the box office, Elton?
I haven't thought about this. Damn it! One burning child.
Okay, that's fair. Jim.
5 days with potato and cabbage for every meal.
Yeah, that's how
going to be stinky.
Yeah, that's how they got to fucking England so quickly. Straight in the sales. Darren, how much do you reckon it made?
I think it made. Watch out for those cliffs.
Those cliffs. Oh man, don't just don't. Don't go to Whitby and expect to see those cliffs. You will not see those cliffs. Well, actually, you're all wrong because what it actually made was, hold on, and I need to move my mic for this one. That's how much it made.
Nice, very good.
Because you can hear it right through the ship. Right, so let's go around the table, find out what everyone. Oh, actually, it made 21 million. By the way, it didn't make its money back.
Right.
No. So let's go and find out what everyone thought. We'll go around the table. Jim, have you seen this before? By the way,
I'd seen this before. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to work out the order. Darren, it's your film, so you go last.
Right.
So, Elton, you and I have not seen this film before.
No, that's very
So
true.
we'll go first. So, what did you think, Elton, of Last Voyage of the Demeter?
I didn't mind it, and I'm surprised.
Yeah?
Because I find vampires extremely boring. Really, really, boring. But this wasn't too bad, actually. I don't know whether it is because of the setting and the... I wouldn't say claustrophobia. I think it's more the restricted access on everything. You've only got a limited playhouse in which you can do this.
Yeah.
But I didn't mind it. I'm sure people that know Dracula a bit more would dive into this, but what I saw was pretty good.
Okay. For me, I was bored off of my noggin with this film. I can't lie. I really can't. I came within a hair's breadth twice of nearly falling asleep. And I was trying so hard to just stay on board and stay fixed on it. But I just couldn't. I found certain scenes too dark. I found other scenes dragged on too long. It performed the worst of criminal cinematic crimes, which I'll get into in the spoiler zone. But and yeah, my patience, not my patience ran out with it, but I just kind of lost the engagement with it, and I just couldn't care less by the end. I really couldn't. I mean, there are things I like about it. I like the cinematography. I like the idea, but no, it wasn't for me. It didn't land in any way. Mainly, I was just kind of like, you had an option. You had the ability to do something here, and you fluffed it. That's my personal opinion. But we'll move on. So, Jim, you have seen it before.
Yes, yeah.
And so, what did you think?
Funny, I've seen it twice. I had the same reaction. I enjoy it. I think it's a very much kind of a bit of a throwback to. It's like the closest I've seen in a long time for like the modern version of a Hammer horror film. In the fact it's kind of what's the word? It's kind of like a gothic adventure.
Yeah.
I love the look of it. I think the cast are good. I enjoy it, but I don't love it.
Right.
And I would definitely agree. It could have been a lot more. I quite liked what I got. I think I said last week on the back of the first week, it's a fun romp.
Yeah.
It's a fun romp, and it's pretty well done, and it looks great. But it could have been more. Definitely could have been more.
Yeah.
But so I enjoy it for what it is. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's more potential there. There is a radio play that was done quite a few years ago.
Yeah.
Same title, same concept, which I think is somewhere in this film's DNA, if I remember rightly.
Right.
And that's properly creepy, and that works really well. And if you want to hear that, there's a YouTube channel called Mysterious Magpie, which has tons and tons of kind of like horror and thriller, like radio stuff.
Oh, nice.
And he recently just put it up, and that's a very good listen.
Okay, well, I'll definitely do that. That sounds.
I'll try and find the link, and I'll append it to the the podcast episode when it goes up.
Lovely. That would be really good and much appreciated, because that will give me something to have a little listen to as I wander the streets. Oh, brilliant. Okay, then. And Darren, what did you think of it?
It was okay in bits. I mean, like yourself, I was struggling at one point to stay awake, but I think it was more me feeling tired. Anyway, it was like, oh no, don't go into this movie after 9:30, Darren. What are you thinking, you crazy bastard? Yeah, cheeky man. Am I allowed to? I suppose I've got to wait until we
The
get to
spoiler
the other
zone.
part before I
Yeah.
can talk about acting performances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can talk about acting in generality.
Okay.
Yeah, go on.
I think this is the world's greatest film about a packed lunch.
A packed lunch.
A packed lunch.
Oh God! I
Right,
see what
okay.
you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the world's greatest film about a packed lunch. So yeah, there you go. Who knew Dracula was,
Packed light.
liked a good packed lunch. But yeah, he opens his little tub up, and he's got a Scottish egg, and he's got a wrapped up pickled onion. It's got some Branston pickle in a tiny little pot as well. Put that there, bit of cheese, bit of bread.
He wouldn't have pickled onion, would he?
Well,
Yeah, he'd have a pickled onion. Why not? Ploughman's. I think you know that experience, don't you, Lee? You've been around somebody who's sort of like, maybe been in the cinema and pulled out a Ploughman's. All of a sudden,
Euphemism.
watch a film. I'm just pulling out my Ploughman's.
Yeah, fucking hell, no.
What in God's name is going on here? Yeah.
What?
What are you doing? Why? What? Who thinks of this? This is not what I think of when I go. I think, oh, maybe a large Diet Coke and a bag of minstrels. But what?
Yes. Yeah, I am.
Yeah, Ginsters doesn't even fucking come into it, mate. It's just what?
Oh God. Oh, just
So yeah,
yes.
there we go. Last Voyage of the Demeter, the greatest film about a packed lunch.
Greatest film about a packed lunch. Well, there you
Yep.
go. Well, that's our thoughts. Obviously, you can make a brilliant judgment of call on whether or not to watch this film based on that lot. But yeah, let's roll the jingle for the spoiler zone. If you want to watch the film before listening, that's fine. But I mean, let's be honest, it is literally telling the story of a chapter in a 200-year-old book. I mean, if you don't know where this is going by now, I don't know what to tell you. But we'll see how it goes. Here's today's random pressing a button jingle.
There will now be a short intermission.
Euphemism. 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 Euphemism.
There we are. Don't ask me what that means. I have no idea. The word's lost all meaning. The jingle's lost all meaning. I have no idea what I'm doing anymore. Just know that this is the spoiler zone section, and if you got past that, and here we are. Oh, by the way,
shut up, Wesley.
Thank you. Yes, we're going to talk about the film now. We're going to spoil it. We're going to spoil the shit out of it. It's on you now if you're listening and you complain about spoilers. So, in my review at the beginning there, I said it does one of the worst cinematic sins, and I've said this on this podcast more than a few times. Yeah.
Yep.
Can I just say that once again, if you're gonna do a film which is supposed to have some semblance of mystery or stakes or anything like that, and by the way, stakes, pun intended. Can you not tell me the entire fucking plot at the very beginning in the title card? Please. For the love
you
of
might fall
God.
asleep, that's why.
It's just like, this is the captain's log of the merchant ship Demeter, and by the way, everyone dies, and there's a Dracula on board. Have fun. It's just like, I wonder what's in the. I wonder. We're going back in time to
What's in the box? What's in the box?
I wonder what's in the box, and I wonder what fate befalls everyone on board this ship. I mean, it's just like, seriously? Carlito's Way. I mean, this is getting added to the list of Carlito's Way, Catch Me If You Can, American Beauty, and now this. For all films which just go, by the way, here's the ending in case you nod off. It's just like, fuck off. Stop it. Just stop it. It's not big, it's not clever, and it doesn't make me intrigued about how I'm going to spend the next 2 hours of my cocking life, knowing full well that it tells me everyone's dead, sir. Really? What on board that ship with a Dracula on board? The last logs of the captain being read out. Fuck off. Anyway, how did everyone else feel about that?
It is a completely pointless prologue. I can only think it was insisted on by the studio. It had nothing specially shot for it.
No.
It was scenes taken from the end when someone put a title card on. And I strongly suspect it was studio executives said, guys, we've got to explain this to these fucking morons.
Exactly.
Which is the problem with everything these days.
Yeah, it was definitely built with let's get as many people in to scare them as possible. Let's explain it first so you know what you're getting. Elton, what did you have a problem with the opening?
Well, unfortunately, a lot of the viewers nowadays have TikTok brain, where if you don't have something happening within 15 seconds of it opening up, then all the screens in the cinema light up in their laps, and they're starting to watch reels and whatever. So I can understand why this would be happening, because I think it kind of sets the scene for people if you don't quite know what you're getting into. But then again, you're either sat in front of a TV or
you've gone into a cinema.
Yeah,
something called The Last Voyage of the Demeter, and it has the poster, which is a black ship with something malevolent sitting on the front of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know what you're expecting to get.
Well, this is the thing. I think it is a way of getting people into the movie. I get it, and I know once you have that setting, then you're like, okay, right. Now the film is about how we get here. It's not about the actual journey or anything about it. It's about getting to the first scene, isn't it? And it's not even sometimes there is a clever way of doing it where you're like, oh, hang on, I didn't notice that, and you go back and watch it and you see little things you didn't see through the movie until then. And that's a good way of going about it. But this was just, it was another 5 minutes that I think it was more padding than anything. And I don't think it needed padding at all.
No.
Just trust the audience.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a really, really annoying trope, and it's just fuck off. Darren.
Yeah. There was something about the film I appreciated. I like to travel. The tour of accents from around London and the home counties that we got there from Corey Hawkins I thought was just a fantastic addition to the movie. You know, I felt at home listening to him because he couldn't quite make up his mind where he was from. Maybe that was it, a man of mystery. A man of mystery. Or where am I from? Am I from deepest, darkest
Deptford?
It did change quite a lot, didn't it?
Oh, God fucking did it. I actually thought he started sounding like this at one point as well. Hello, my lover.
Yes.
He don't look big for a big mate, does he?
No, I don't trust him at all. And then by the end, when they're in the pub, it's like, I will have you, geezer. I'm going to take you out with your fucking fancy top hat. It's like, what? Yeah.
I am a man of science, don't you know?
Yeah. I'll fucking cut ya. It's like,
Yeah, I'm
what
a man
on
of
earth?
science, and I will fucking have you. Boom, 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 boom.
I'll have my keys in my fist and I'll swing
Hello,
my arms
Ma.
making it count.
Suddenly goes all Nick Cotton. Hello, Ma.
Yeah. He's
So, yep, Nick Cotton. Now, if I remember rightly, okay, let's talk about what this is supposed to be based on, and based on, I think they should have had the word loosely based on.
Well,
The chapter from
inspired
Dracula.
by.
Inspired by, yes. A bloke passing a bookshop on the other side of the road noticed a copy of Dracula sitting in the actual window there, and that's about as much basis, I think. It knows there was a ship, it knows there were people on there, and they know they were offed, before they got in. Apart from this one bloke who we were hoping was going to make a franchise with, but we never got that. We never got it. We never got it. Now, it is supposed to be that the captain of the Demeter was the only one that was found lashed to the steering wheel or the of the actual thing. But as you notice, I'm sorry, but he's not going to be lashed to much in this film. If this is what we're going on, whoever tied the knots wasn't very good, because he kind of slips off the the actual the steering wheel, and what we get is a Liam Cunningham catapult as it hits the rocks and he goes flying, So he's obviously landed in someone's fucking vegetable garden up on the cliffs there. That's going to be a nice treat for him when they wake up and fucking find his tangled corpse wrapped around their petunia bushes. With half a ship up my ass. So
he's on the run of beans.
Yeah. What's
Margaret,
that phrase?
Margaret, someone's in me rhubarb. Looks like
What's
the
that phrase
captain
from?
of the Demeter.
Was it Shaun of the Dead? Oh, he's got an arm off.
Exactly.
Yeah. So not very close at all. And what was all this? One survivor in the water. What was all that? What was the thing?
Yeah.
Corey Hawkins being like now, hoping beyond hope that the franchise is going to be made from this. Maybe a TV series.
Well, can I ask?
Go back in.
Tom Cruise made The Mummy a couple of years ago.
Yes.
No,
and that was supposed to be like a
No,
cinematic universe, wasn't it?
Was it? What are you talking about, Owen? Are you drunk? What are we talking about? He never made The Mummy. He never made The Mummy. There was no Mummy film made.
Did you? No, okay, fine.
No. If you're talking about that pile of shit about the woman running around in bandages, then fine. Yeah, he made that. But The Mummy? No.
With Russell Crowe in it as well.
Yes, now that was meant to be part of the start of a Universal
Dark Universe.
So was this meant to be part of that?
No, this was completely independent.
No.
There was a film, the Dracula one actually was called, I think it was called Dracula, and it was
wasn't it Dracula Unbound?
Yeah,
Untold.
Untold, that's it.
Yeah, but that had been made, and then they'd hatched the Dark Universe thing, and so they did a couple of reshoots to put a few bits that were connected to the Dark Universe. Then it underperformed and said, no, it wasn't.
Yeah.
The Mummy was going to be the first part of it, and then Tom Cruise stuck his oar in, and that went badly up the creek.
The only thing that was entertaining about that Mummy movie was the trailer that was released with only just the voice sounds. Did you ever see that?
No.
Oh, I'm sure it's still on the internet somewhere. But basically, the musical stems weren't mixed into the version that was sent out. So basically, you've just got this whole thing of just like completely silent video, and every now and again you hear Tom Cruise go, "Whoa, ah." Woo! It's the most entertaining, especially when he falls out of the plane and he just goes.
Is it as good as that Mission Impossible video that they did where it was Tom Cruise being injured a lot.
Yeah, it's not far off.
Like goes off the edge of that fucking cliff.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was magical. That was.
Yeah.
I love that trailer.
Yeah, I've found it. It's a Mummy trailer without musical sound effects, and someone forgot to export the music and sound effects into the Mummy trailer.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's just Tom Cruise going. "Ah, ah." Anyway, sorry. Carry on. Yeah. I mean, the Dark Universe was a waste of time anyway, but yeah, it's nothing to do with that. I think someone just was reading Dracula and an Alien was on Channel 4 and they went, "Oh, I think we can put those two together. That'll work."
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, so this idea's been kicked around for a while. The wiki does go into it.
Oh, yeah.
I said that there's this radio play version. That's from like 2008,
All right.
I think.
Mm.
But that was completely different script to this. It's one of those, I don't know, because I think the Dark Universe could have worked if they'd just done it properly, but they didn't. Whereas this is kind of, there's a subgenre of these sort of films that are kind of, it's like a look at a classic book or story, but from another character's point of view.
Yeah.
There's a Jekyll and Hyde one, I think, called Mary Barton. It's like it's the story of Dr. Jekyll and Hyde, but told from the perspective of his maid, who sees it happening sort of piecemeal.
Yeah, that was with oh God, what was that? Wasn't that with Julia Roberts?
Julia Roberts, that's right. Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
God, yeah, the Julia Roberts one. Yeah, go on. Sorry, carry on, Jim. I was gonna...
There's a whole skew, not just in horror, but in literature generally, of taking this kind of. I mean, recently someone's done a book telling Huckleberry Finn from the slave Jim's point of view. And this is a similar idea. I think that's where that idea sort of starts.
Yeah.
But I think the thing with this, it didn't. For me, it's it doesn't really know what it's quite wanting to do.
Yeah.
Is it going for like paranoia a la The Thing, or is it like they die one by one? That trope goes back to the Agatha Christie, and then there were none.
Yeah, 10 Little Indians, wasn't it?
No, don't use that title, or the one before that. And then there were none.
And there were none, sorry.
Yes, yeah.
Sorry.
Or is it going to be more like Alien, where, all right, there's something on board, it's killing us, and we don't know what it is?
Yeah, we'll all work together to try and get rid of it, but it's cleverer than us, so whoops. Yeah.
And it's kind of all the elements are there, but I think, having watched it twice, for me, the weak element is the central character.
Yeah, the Doctor.
Yeah, because he has like the hints of a backstory.
Yeah.
But then there's nothing more, and there's nothing. And I don't think he, for this film movie to work in the as I think on his. As I say, it reminds very much of a Hammer film, which were kind of very much like gothic adventures.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, this would be like, spooky fun with vampires at sea. And in his role, you need somebody like Peter Cushing.
Yeah.
Who can, be the vampire killer and be your hero. And he just doesn't measure up for that. He's too...
Yeah.
I don't know. There's nothing to him. If you know what I mean? There's nothing...
Yeah. He doesn't have
you need someone with a lot more charisma to put them to be, the nemesis for Dracula. You need his opposite number.
And I agree. I think the main character lacks charisma, but also he's not supported by any notable crew members. I mean, when I wrote a review on Letterboxd yesterday, because I needed to get the thoughts in my head rather than just going, it's boring, I didn't watch it. Or it's boring, I gave up, I fell asleep, or whatever. But the thing was, the problem I had was, and you're going to have to forgive me because I'm going to do this, which is, it wanted to be Alien. That's really what it wanted to do. It copies the beats. I know that Robert Valentine's written in something very similar, so I'll try not to go anywhere near his feedback, but it tries to hit those beats, including scuttling the ship, including the last desperate moments of, we're going to scuttle the ship. Oh dear, we've gone to scuttle the ship, and guess what? The monster is waiting for us. The whole thing about like, oh, there's an animal on board. It's the one that knows what's really going on. The captain who's kind of haggard and just kind of wants to just get on with his fucking day, and unfortunately it all goes horribly wrong, and he's not equipped to deal with it. There's so much stuff where the creatures running around the interior of the ship in places that you can't get to or you don't go down. All that stuff. I know Alien's not exactly the most original thing, but it was clearly the thing that this movie was pulling from, or at least trying to. And my problem is that in Alien, you had 7 characters, and they were all clearly defined, and with the minimal amount of dialogue and just the interactions between the crew, you got the sense of where everyone was. You had the engineers who felt downtrodden. You had the warrant officer who was uptight. You had the science officer who's looking a bit shifty. You had the captain who's just about had enough. And then you had the nervy navigator and the other bloke who, ain't worth worrying about because he ain't going to be around for long. Excuse me again. But you get on the Demeter. I'm going to call it the Demeter because I just can't. You get on the Demeter and it's just like, oh, it's beardy unwashed bloke number 1, beardy unwashed bloke number 2, beardy unwashed bloke number 3, beardy unwashed bloke number 4, beardy unwashed bloke who looks slightly nervous because it's David Dexmalian or whatever his name is, and always looks slightly odd. Shifty. You got Liam Cunningham who's standing there literally doing his Onion Knight thing from bloody Game of Thrones. Oh, I'm gruff and I'm earthy, And then you've got Captain, and then you got Dr. Void, who just turns up with the personality of a plank of wood and a dog. Void. And you're just like, I don't know any of these people. So when they all start getting picked off, it's like, why do I care? And that's the problem. This film has a running time equal to Alien, and you literally are matching it beat for beat, and somehow you've managed to get characters that don't interact beyond all sitting in the dark and griping at each other. I have no idea what their names are. No. I have literally no idea what they do on the ship. Nothing at all. And, and it's just like, Vasili's gone. Has he? Who's he? He's the one with the knife. Which one's that then? The one with the beard? No, still not coming to me. The Russian one. Oh, you mean the Russian one? The one who didn't want to be on the deck? No. That's the other Russian one. The one who didn't trust didn't trust the doctor. Huh? Oh, him. Oh, that's sad. And that was me throughout the whole movie. Oh. Scraggy guy who looks like Catweasel. He's dead. Oh, never mind. She kept doing that.
Mm. Yeah.
If you don't care about anyone, you got no stakes. I keep saying stakes, and I know it's a pun. I'm moving on. I just don't care. I just could not bring myself to give a shit at all. I mean,
I think I would have enjoyed this a lot more if, maybe I wouldn't, I don't know, if it wasn't so brazen in showing what was going on in the trailer and on the poster, and everywhere it was just trying to tell everyone, look, this is part of the Dracula story. It's all about the Dracula and him on the Stanner Sea Link, and it's okay.
P&O Ferry.
Yeah.
He's got duty free under his arm. I'm going to make a killing with these cigarettes. I've got 40 Benson hedges. A bloody great Toblerone.
Won't fit in my casket.
Yes. Oh, I can get 20 Benson hedges in here. I got 400 Sky Blues. Whoa! I'm gonna make a killing at the pub.
Sorry, just all I can see is Malcolm McDowell when you talk like, I've got my big Toblerone. Yes, Captain. Time is a fire which will burn.
Yes, I'm sorry, Captain. I've got a date with Destiny, and I don't want to be late. I've got 4 liters of scotch under my arm, and I'm off. I'm away.
Anything to declare? No. Why would I?
No, it's all in me coffin. Oh, anyway, sorry. Carry on, Elton.
With that.
I don't know.
Yeah, giving it away. And I think that's, once again, it's a problem with some movies where they don't trust anyone to go into it. I think it would have been nice if you guys would have known what the Demeter was and going into this, because I wouldn't have a clue. I wouldn't have a clue at all. And if they kept away with that and just said the last voyage of the Demeter, I'd be like, okay, this would be different. And then it would unfold. I don't know whether I'd get halfway through and go, oh, it's a vampire thing, isn't it? But if it was later signposted that it was a Dracula thing, then maybe I would have been a bit more excited. But yeah, just giving it away straight off. Just brazen. It's like, well, you've just given away everything there. Someone coming into this without any knowledge whatsoever, just trying a film just by chance.
Yeah.
Maybe they're worried about nobody would try it just by chance and then miss out on it, and then you have even less eyes on it if you don't mention, oh, it's Dracula, by the way. I just thought to let you know that. It's Dracula.
But is Dracula that much of a pull? I mean, present company accepted, because I know that, Jim, it's obviously much in your wheelhouse. But, I mean, if you knew that it was a Dracula, would you have seen it earlier, Elton, or would you have seen it when you did?
No, I would just wait for it to roll around on the timeline.
What about you, Dal?
Well, I don't know.
If you knew this film was a Dracula film, would you have gone to see it quicker, or would you have not worried?
No, it was more the fact that it was the bit in the book with the crew having to deal with this situation of having this vampire on board, and I thought, oh, this might actually be quite interesting. And it went from something I thought might be quite sort of deep to something quite derp. It's
deep to derp.
Deep to derp.
It's that situation where you watch a movie and there's a 10-minute brilliant scene, and you're like, oh, I wish they'd made a whole film about that.
Yeah.
And then they did. And then you realise why it's a 10-minute scene.
Yeah.
Because it's more powerful for the boat just to rock up on its own with nothing on board.
Exactly.
Well, that's the whole thing in the book, that the captain's log is like a bit of just foreshadowing. And, you know what I mean? It's kind of also trying to think of sort of, I mean, Dracula, vampires weren't sort of known about before Dracula. There'd been vampire stories before, but it was Dracula that really put them into pop culture big time. But for the audience reading the book, you still, you're getting an idea of what you can do.
Yeah.
This captain's log is just a marvelous kind of just a teaser.
Well, it is, isn't it? I mean, it's a trick that they've used ever since, which is the captain's log of something that you find, and then the heroes are trying to decipher the captain's log while all the information is there, but they don't understand what they're looking at. I mean, the fucking Event Horizon's a perfect example of that.
Well, it's the bits they found in the Norwegian base in The Thing.
Yes, exactly.
That's a really good example of how to do it right.
Yes.
And that has the same sort of purpose, as a similar function.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what personally, whether is Dracula a pull. There's lots of Dracula films. Most of them aren't very good.
No.
Well, taking that back, a lot of the ones in the last 30 years haven't been very good. And generally, I see them on kind of, does it get interesting reviews or is somebody interesting in it?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd have seen this because of the director rather than the subject matter.
Yeah.
But I think from a studio point of view, it's that thing of everything has to be a recognisable IP.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It is kind of everything. It's like, Red Letter Media did a good video on it recently, how everything has to be an adaptation of something. It has to be something already familiar to the audience, otherwise they start shitting bricks. And that is a problem, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it is also why they give so much away. There is another film along similar lines, which I won't name, so if people have not seen it, that plays this hand better, shall we say.
Yes. Is it in the cinema currently, Jim?
No, it was in the cinema last year.
Right.
But that makes a far better fist. It does play an interesting game with a known IP, but it didn't market itself as being tying into this particular IP. And it's about a certain way into this movie, you go, oh, hang on a minute, there's a bit of a twist here.
Yeah, there's something else going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, I don't see vampires as being much of a pull personally, but there's hi Teresa. So I mean, but I don't find vampires much of a pull. But I if they're done right, they can be very scary. They can be a really impressive thing. But I think the problem with this film is not just that it gives everything away in the opening credits, which is just, I mean, it was all I could do to just not throw the controller straight at the screen instantly when that appeared. But the other thing is it plays its hand too early with Dracula himself. I mean, he's 1 minute it's like, oh, he's a shadow on a wall and the dog's going woof, woof, woof. And within 5 minutes of that, next thing you know, there he is standing in the corner. Oh, he's attacked someone. Oh, he's attacked someone else. It was, and then it kind of really is bizarre because 1 minute it wants to keep him in shadow and play coy, and then the next minute it's like, oh, there he is in all these kind of gangly, Mr. Barlow glory, and it's like, okay, cool, we've seen him now. And then the rest of the film goes, oh no, you can't see him. He's he's out of focus. He's in the mist. Oh, he's hanging around behind you. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's like, dude, you shot your bolt literally after the second kill. We've seen him from top to toe, and that's just another thing that kind of annoyed me. It was kind of like, I think you were right, Jim, when you're saying about the credits at the start. It's something that the producers or the studios have said, we need more of this. 1 minute it's like, oh no, we're keeping the monster out of eye shot. We can't see too much of it. 5 seconds later, it's like, oh, there he is, face full, right in the screen. Willy hanging out. He's big bat wings everywhere. It's just like...
Yeah, they couldn't help themselves, could they?
You couldn't help yourself. You just... It's just like, pick a fucking lane. Either it's the alien thing and you can't see him until the end, or it's not. In which case, it's a monster on a ship. In which case, fine, do it, but stop playing coy with it anymore. There's so much about this film which just feels like it's been made in a rush, or cut to ribbons, or re-edited, or something's gone on with this film, and it started off as one thing, ended up as another, but it wanted to be something else, or it's been script noted to death.
Well, once again, we're at least one step ahead of the crew.
Yeah.
So they got this big ominous box with all this signage around it, and one dude with one eye going, "Oh, that's got a dragon on it. I not be sailing on that boat. I don't care how much gold you give me." It was like, it's got Dracula in it. We know this. And the captain's like, "It's just a box," and the other guys, we just put the box on there.
So, do you know why it's a dragon, by the way?
No.
Go on
then. Because Dracula means son of the dragon.
Ah.
Because the historical Dracula isn't his name, it was a nickname.
Oh, right.
His father was known as Dracul the Dragon, and in fact was awarded given it like a knighthood, the Order of the Dragon. And hence his son Vlad was Vlad Dracula, Vlad, son of the dragon.
Ah.
So that's why it's a dragon on the thing. Well,
do you know what? If even that little bit of colour there was more interesting than the rest of the Poxy film. Because what you've done there, Jim, is you've explained the significance of it. You've given us something else to think about, and you've put a bit of context on it. Whereas what this film did was, by the way, it's a Dracula. Now here's the mystery. It's... So, Darren, you picked this film.
Yes.
I mean, is it something you'll return to?
No. Not at all, mate. I've done my thing with it. I've watched it. It's done. It's made me want to watch Cool as Ice by Vanilla Ice again.
Really? Oh God, it's not that bad.
Yeah. Well. It was a disappointment.
Yes.
Let's just say that.
Yeah.
I wish it hadn't been. I wish it had been as good as I was hoping it would be. But no.
Yeah.
Not at all. Quite the opposite. So, yeah.
Yes.
Darren, can I ask you?
Yes.
Did it commit 2 cardinal sins, or were you not bothered about them?
2 cardinal sins?
Yes. You've said a couple of times.
Oh, God, now he's going to have to remember that now. You know what he's like.
The dog.
Yeah. Oh, God, yes. It killed
and
the
the
kid
child.
and the dog. Yeah. I mean, it didn't pull its punches where that sort of thing was concerned. And I appreciate you for that. Because but it was a deceptive... It was a deceptive ploy. Because it makes you look, oh, fuck me, this is going to be edgy. Look, they've killed the dog straight away. Fuck me, the internet's going to be up in arms about this one. And, no, nobody's done the last save of the kid. No, the kid's bought the farm.
Yeah.
Well, this day I'm quite excited by this. But no. And it's like seeing. It's like it's a bit like seeing your one of your heroes on stage, and then they die by shitting themselves to death right in front of everyone. Having a fucking rectal prolapse.
Well,
it's
it's a living.
Yeah.
That's
Sorry, I
show
was just Bernie Winters and Schnorbits. No,
You saw Bernie Winters die on stage, shitting himself.
No, I think it was Schnorbits, wasn't it? Was it Schnorbits?
Schnorbits died by shitting itself to death. And I remember that. Yeah.
It was just that it was, almost as unbelievable as Tommy Cooper's. I mean, he really did die on stage.
Yes. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
That I did see.
Live
at London.
I was watching that performance and it's like, what's going on? Why isn't Tommy getting up?
Yeah. No, it's really funny. They dragged him through the curtain.
Exactly.
Anyway.
His fucking arm comes out just like,
Yeah. It's like,
drags him away.
He's really committing to that bit. Hold on.
Yep.
Hang on. Something's not right. So you regretted wasting our time then, is what you're saying?
Just a bit, yeah. This really wasn't the movie I was hoping it would be.
Fair enough.
So, colour me disappointed.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, can I just ask you both, all of you, could you see half of what was going on? Because to me, it seemed like the 90% of that film was complete darkness.
Yes, well, it had to be because it had to be edgy. Ooh.
But the thing is, right, I mean, the reason I'm saying this, and everyone's going to go, "Oh yeah, well, of course it's complete darkness. He's on the fucking ship lit by candles." Yeah, fair enough. But there's ways of lighting things, and there's ways of lighting things. I mean,
now, I thought it looked absolutely fine on my TV.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, not a problem.
Okay. That's cool. That's cool because I was watching it and I was thinking, I can't see a fucking thing. But luckily, as the film went on, as the evening went on, the sun went down. I could actually see what was going on my telly. I think the contrast might be too high on my TV.
The only problem I had was when it went all as they were coming to England, and it all went smoky and foggy. That's when I struggled a little bit, and the picture went a bit blocky. So I was like, "Oh, okay, great,
okay, cool, all right." No, it was just one of those things. I was just sort of watching it, and I was thinking, "What the fuck is going on half of this thing? He's in complete darkness." Yeah. The other thing I was going to say was, not only did it want to be Alien, it wanted to be Alien 3. That was the other bit with the bit with the dog, the fucking the various people you couldn't tell difference apart, and no one wants to believe there's anything there, and
it was very brown.
Very brown. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just couldn't. I can't. I still can't. I'm trying right now to find something to talk about it with, but you guys. But it's just.
So someone explain to me what happens in the book. Then, how do they do this in the book?
Jim, you're up.
Well, the book, the ship crashes at Whitby, and you have a chapter which is what they have in the captain's log, whereas people are dying on the ship. They don't know why. They think evil's aboard, and it's all quite sort of cryptic, and it's I say this is inspired by that chapter, not a straight adaptation of it, because the chapter is very brief. But in the book, it's kind of like an interlude, because like the first half of the book is kind of Jonathan Harker's diary, who's gone to Transylvania, and then the second half is more like letters of people in England, and this sort of bit is kind of the bridge. Between those bits.
Yeah.
Because you get a letter from, I think it's Mina Harker, who including her letter includes like a cutting of about the shipwreck. And it's in, I think it's in the newspaper cutting. They have excerpts from the captain's log.
Yeah. And
Right.
Yeah, so it's more about piecing together a bit of atmosphere. I mean, it is literally a fraction of the fraction of the book, isn't it?
And it could have been so easily solved by 9-inch screws just in the lid to stop it from moving.
Yeah. Well, it could have been sold.
No, that doesn't work.
Nah. Could have been sold just by chucking the box overboard. I mean, you know. But
so,
yeah, go on.
With Dracula on this boat, was he buried in the dirt in the box? Because when they opened it, he wasn't there.
So you got to remember this. Right, let me explain a bit here. Dracula's come from Transylvania. I think he has 50 coffins with earth in. Okay. Right. Because a vampire, or at least in the version of the law Stoker's using, a vampire has to return to its grave at sunrise, or it will die. Yeah. Dracula is coming to England, and with the intention, effectively, he's mounting an invasion. And Dracula's come up with a great way to have 50 graves all around London or all around England, so you never get caught short. And basically, for years, he's been preparing, and he's basically got 50 mobile graves. So when they're searching for him in the boat, he can be in any one of 50 boxes.
Ah, okay.
So he's
and also, they're not. If anyone's wondering why didn't they open all the boxes, well, why would you open a box that's nailed shut? Because he doesn't actually need them to open, because he can turn to mist and go in and out them. That's something else you learn in the novel. Vampires have the power to turn to the mist, which is how they get in and out their graves in the first place.
Right.
So there you go.
Cool. Yep. Thank you. Right. Now I can actually go and watch this film.
Nice. But that's the thing, isn't it? It goes into explaining everything at the start, and then not explaining anything in the middle, because it assumes you know all the vampire lore or the Dracula lore. And it's like, well, if you assume I know that, then why the fuck do you bother explaining all this shit to me?
I'm happy for it not to explain that stuff to me, for me to actually do a bit of deep diving and asking and looking around. If I'm interested in the subject, then I would do some research or ask people about it, and that might draw me in a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes giving a little and holding back quite a lot sometimes works for a movie.
Yeah. Well, sometimes the less you know, the better.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how it works. But this movie just wants you to know everything before you even started. But the other thing I was going to say was, the other thing that really bugged me, again, this is the Alien comparison thing again, which was they kept talking about the bonus and their bonus shares and all this kind of crap. And it's like, oh, for fuck's sake. Do me a fucking favour. Bonus. We got to talk about the bonuses. We can't stop to pick up food because bonus. It's like, what? Between Transylvania and the weird circuitous route that you're fucking taking that's going to take you around past Gibraltar and all that bollocks. It's like, so, and there's nowhere you can stop. Not even just to, like, I don't know, pick up a bag of crisps. I mean,
happy,
what are we,
happy eater.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, we've got to get there nice and early because then we get a bonus. And it's like, yeah, but what? How early are we talking here? How long is like 5 minutes of stopping off for some food going to change your bonus?
Mm-hmm.
It just kept trying to do that whole thing of, the alien thing of, if you don't go down and check the planet out, no shares. You've got to check out the bonus situation. It was trying so hard with no real reason other than we've got to drag this out, because this did The Hobbit. The Hobbit, a fucking 100-page book at a push, and we got to make it into 3-hour movies. Well, how are we going to do that? Fuck knows. But I tell you what, if we have enough songs being sung and we see enough landscapes wandering past, then we might make it sort of last a little longer. It really felt like that. Lots and lots and lots of kind of, well, we got to do this and we got to do that and we got to do the other. It's like, dude, why are you dragging this out? Especially 2 hours. If it had been like 90 minutes or like a YouTube 40 minutes short, I'd been like, yeah, fine, got it, understand. Totally down with that. But it wasn't. It was just dragging on and on and on. It's so tedious. Such a tedious movie. I really wish I'd gone to bed, to be perfectly honest.
I still think it was all right.
Oh, it's cool. I mean, like I say, it's each their own. Everyone likes it and don't like it. It's up to them. It's not for me to dictate what you like and don't like. It's just...
I'm wondering if that's because I don't know much about it that I enjoyed it a little bit more than you guys.
Could be.
Well, I mean, maybe there's just a few cardinal sins that films do, and if they do them, I'm pretty much on the way out the door.
Well, this one lost you right at the start.
Exactly.
And then you couldn't see most of it.
No, exactly. And I was going to say, for me, it was too dark, and I already knew the fucking story because it told me right at the start. And then it had the world's most boring characters on the world's smallest but biggest ship. That was the other thing that bugged me, the ship size. How big was it? Because 1 minute, old Dr. What's-It comes out and he's Dr. Void. He comes out and he goes, oh, Belgian Fred, where are you? And Belgian Fred's having his throat ripped out up by the steering wheel, by the wheel. And you can literally see over his shoulder. They do a shot where you can see over his shoulder and the wheel is literally about 2 foot in front of him, because he's at the other end of the ship, and then you get a reverse shot, and it takes him about a minute and a half to walk the length of the ship. It's like, so either this ship is really, really big, or it's really, really small.
It's no Red October though, is it? I mean,
no. I mean, you could fit 1,000 of these in the Red October's cafe, but
yep.
But the point is, it's like there's sort of weird inconsistencies there just to make suspense. It's like we're gonna walk around the deck, and just in case there's got to be 2 people on the deck just in case this thing sneaks up on us. It's like, right, and then you can't see the other bloke because he's walked around the deck. It's like, how far away is he? And just how far away? And then 5 minutes later, you're looking at the deck and you're thinking, I could actually stand at one end and look at the other end and see everyone. It's just... Is it a small ship or is it a big ship? I mean, I must admit, I'll take Jim's point. I was out by 5 minutes in, so I'm probably not the best person to review this at this point. My biases are known. But yeah. Fucking Hobbit movie. Right. I'm calling a moratorium on it, and if anybody else has anything they want to add, please do so now.
I just want to say also that I could have sworn in the Dracula novel that it says that as he drinks blood, he becomes more human, and I'm pretty sure they mentioned it on there. So I want to know what happened with that, because you see him sitting in a pub with just like a hat and a coat, like in the world's worst disguise. He didn't look very, very human to me.
Well, no, in the book he gets younger.
Yes, that's right. He does.
When Jonathan Harker meets him, he's an old man with a long white moustache. By the time he gets to London, he's his hair is no longer white and he's much younger.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to need the audiobook of this then.
What, of Bram Stoker's Dracula?
Oh, yeah. I would like that.
Yeah.
Well, let me know what you think when you're in, maybe you can tell me some points about it, because it was... now, this is going to be blasphemy, I know.
Okay, here we go.
I'm going
Prepare
to get burned
yourself
at the stake for this. This is the most boring book I've ever read. It took me 6 months to fucking read it, and I only did that because somebody gave it to me as a present. So I felt duty bound.
I hope they're not listening to this podcast now.
No, there won't be. No.
I've seen the figures. Of course they won't be. Okay, right. Well, I tell you what. Has anybody got anything else they'd like to add? Any counterpoints? I mean, to this film, because I feel like I've been very down on it, and nobody's been very positive. Well, people have been positive, but just
okay. Quick positives. I thought I quite liked the look of the Dracula. I liked the way that he was like that weird little thing crawling across the deck in the very beginning.
And
then, surprise, blood everywhere.
Yes.
I like, swooping someone mid falling and cutting all of his entrails out. That was quite cool as well. The burning situation as well with the guy against the mast and the kid. I thought that was good. I thought that looked really, really good and really, really painful. Really painful. So,
yeah, definitely. I'll give you that. That was one thing I did like. That whole sort of like, you're on fire and that's going to really hurt, as opposed to normally people just go and then turn to dust.
Yeah. No, this looked like it was from deep inside.
Anyway.
But that's
Jim?
it. That's all I've got.
Jim?
I think it's a visually strong film, put it that way.
Yes.
But I think, well, for me, I think kind of where it falls down is it doesn't define its characters.
No.
And it needs to define its characters better, or at least just define the hero better. That would have been enough. But also, I think for a bit more Master and Commander style ship sort of proper, detail to really sort of nail down the kind of, this is what it's like stuck on a ship. And it's pretty bad, and it's actually damn dangerous just going from A to B without having bloody Dracula farting around in the hole.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of kind of, there's more of that in the audio play. You more get that sense of kind of, ocean travel was bloody dangerous at the best of times. Just getting about without having a vampire to contend with. And I think it was kind of, there's a lot of good sort of visual period detail, which I think kind of the script could have made more of to give you more of a sense of, we are stuck on a ship and we are fucking screwed.
Yeah.
And you kind of, particularly depending where you are at sea, there is literally no way you can turn.
Yeah.
Other than just keep going. So there's lots of elements they could have explored more to heighten the tension. It's like losing the animals. That's a big blow.
Yeah.
Because they're only down to vegetables then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And kind of there's lots of things that you could have expanded this on quite effectively.
Yes.
And it's funny because the detail was there in the visuals. That's what interested me, because the look of the ship, the way it was lit. I mean, one of my, I think one of Teresa's big bugbears is unrealistic lighting of dark situations. You know what I mean? Like people wandering through supposedly deserted woods and like floodlit practically.
Yeah.
And I know you obviously got to light a scene a bit, or you just have a black screen. But Hollywood is very bad for over lighting things. You know what I mean? It's like. And this actually got the ambient sort of light levels, I think, really well. Like the look of the candle and the lamps and things like that. But there's a lot more you could have done to say that obviously someone had thought about and done the homework to a certain degree, at least on the visual side. But yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a missed opportunity, I think. I enjoy it, but you know, I've enjoyed both times I watched it. But it is it's a bit sort of chewing gum for the mind. And there's lots of good bits I really do like, but as I say, there was a potential for a really great film here, which we didn't get.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's probably why I'm so frustrated with it. I think there's the kernel of a really, really solid movie in there where you could like pick the crew off one by one, but you do it in a way that, you know, they either get lost, you make the Demeter bigger, or you make it smaller, and then you have the crew become possessed, or, you know, there's a dozen different ways till Sunday you could do something with it, but it's just not this way. And if you don't care about anyone, doesn't matter. Your brain kind of switches off. Okay, Darren, any last thoughts?
No.
Right. And that note, the last Voyage of the Demeter is on Amazon Prime if you want to go and watch it. Just have fun with it, I guess. I'm looking forward to any feedback people send in on this one, especially Robert Valentine's one. That's good. That's the biggie. But I couldn't read it out today because we're sticking to the format of feedback next week. If you do want to send any feedback in, by all means do to feedback@blackdogpodcast.com, or on the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/group/the Black Dog Podcast. Or if you like, go over to Blue Sky and send me a DM straight through there. And that is cartoonbeardy.bsky.social. Right. I think we'll leave it there. So, Elton.
Yo.
I believe that next week's film is your choice.
It is indeed.
And you have chosen?
I have chosen a film on Channel 4, on More 4, I think it is. On
Film 4.
Film 4, or channel4.com.
Yeah.
And it is a film that stars Maggie Gyllenhaal, Michael Fassbender, and that guy from Star Wars Episode 1, I think it is. And it is the film Frank.
Frank?
I've never seen this, and it's been on my list for ages, and it's got 19 days left, and I've been searching for it for ages, but we're going to be doing it, so enjoy, everyone.
the movie that is essentially the Frank Sidebottom.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is. It really is.
Nice. Okay. Well, I tell you what, it's nothing if not varied, this docket list, is it?
That's
so,
right.
Frank, nice. Has anyone seen this film before, Jim?
No.
I have.
You have?
Yes, I have.
Okay. And are you looking forward to seeing it again?
Yes, I am. I will say it's not really the Frank Sidebottom story at all.
No, okay, fair enough.
But it's sort of vaguely inspired by the idea of Frank Sidebottom.
Yes, I get. Yep.
But it's quite the film. I really enjoyed it. I think it is a very it's an interesting movie with an interesting story.
Okay.
Unfortunately, he doesn't do the proper Frank Sidebottom. I'm from Dimple Rice, but you can't.
Yeah. I was going to say that the Frank Sidebottom voice was that was going to be my next question. Did he do that voice? Because that would wound me up something chronic.
No.
Okay.
No. So it is just kind of taking the idea of a performer who had the Frank Sidebottom sort of, not even Frank Sidebottom's act, to be honest, but the idea of a pop star who wears this strange mask and then goes somewhere completely different with it.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, no, it's a good little movie. I thought it was very interesting and a good addition to sort of the sort of subgenre of sort of movies about rock and pop.
Okay. Oh, nice, interesting. Darren, have you seen this film before?
Never.
Are you
Never,
interested?
ever.
Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. I haven't seen this film before. I haven't got the first foggiest. Not even close. I have no idea whatsoever. So for me, it's going to be interesting. Let's just put it that way.
Cool.
I'm not put off by it, but I am apprehensive of it because I feel like if the Frank Sidebottom head becomes a distraction, I might fall off of this quite quickly. But we'll see. I'm going to go in eyes wide open, much like Frank looking at that picture. So cool. Okay, well we'll leave it there then. So yes, let's go round to the Pimp's Corner and find out what's happening over at hypnagoria.com. Jim.
At Hypnagoria, you can hear me this week talking about the ghost books of author Adrian Chambers, who sadly passed away last week. And also on Commentary Club, I look at a justly forgotten 80s science fiction film called Time Guardian, starring Dean Stockwell and Carrie Fisher as top billed cast, who both appear for about 10 minutes.
Oh, good Lord. Oh, dear.
A film that was rightly forgotten.
Okay. That's... I suppose in some ways we have to be thankful that you didn't put it on the docket. So,
or if you're naughty, you still might get it.
Oh shit!
And find out what happens when someone starts to rip off Terminator, then realizes Crocodile Dundee was a big hit, and does that for most of the film.
Oh shit!
With a subplot about a time traveling city with a broken leg.
Oh, a time traveling city with a broken leg.
Yeah, I'm not making that up.
Oh, Christ. It has to be on the docket now, doesn't it?
On Amazon Prime.
Oh,
if you want to go there.
Okay. Cool. And that's over at hypnagoria.com.
It is indeed.
It is. Right, cool. And what's happening over at Rogue 2 Media then, Elton?
Talking about cars go around in circles on the Grand Prix podcast, and we are continuing our naval thing.
Belly buttons.
No, ships and sea and yeah. On the Band of Brothers podcast, where we are talking about the film In Which We Serve. And if you hang on 2 more days, then you'll get the Battle of River Plate as well. So
nice.
There we go.
Okie dokie. Right, Darren, anything?
No.
Cool.
Nothing at all.
Lovely. Well, that's it then. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Elton. And yeah, we'll leave it there. We'll see you all next week for Frank. We're going to do Frank Sidebottom. Well, not really Frank Sidebottom. He's going to speak like Michael Fassbender. That's not my Michael Fassbender voice. I just started to lose my voice. I don't know what I'm saying. I can't end this fucking podcast properly either. Right. I'll tell you how to best end it. You just go, tatty bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Ta-da.
Seamless.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me. Down the road, it's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll want to settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on.
I already came for a kebab.